To reflect on my experience with Full Sail this past year means going back and acknowledging the credit to those who I personally gained from the most. Each module at Full Sail taught me something new and exciting that shifted my perspective on life. I am a graphic artist, and through my career development, I had been exposed to media design for over 10 years. But it was not until my first class at Full Sail Online when I discovered the deeper insight of design and today's technology. My first project and my first bloopers, the biography movie, taught me how important it is to keep the eye contact and how to condense sentences during my speech to get the essence in a limited time. It was an eye-opener to virtual learning through Second Life. Together with Missy Brunson, I was discovering new means of training that brings education to a higher level. I am a visual learner. It was the MLT theory by Howard Gardner that made me pay different attention to people and their learning abilities. It helped me to shift my instruction once I discovered the loss of retention. It was during MLT module when I decided to use video instruction for my action research project. This was also the class that I produced my first podcast and learned how powerful is that type of media over written text. This was yet another module that helped me with my AR project. I followed the EDDI system design and took an entire month to prepare and design before I was even ready to start. With such proper planning, I was confident I wouldn't have to go backwards with the project. I learned ScreenFlow, which helped me tremendously during my Cycle 1 and my AR. I also became familiar with Google Docs, which helped me create my survey later on, and Google Sites through our group project. I learned that I can always find tools online that can help me go forward and do things more efficient. I had a lot of fun producing the 1-minute commercial. Learning about digital natives made me realize why a new approach to education and training is so important. Seeing the data analysis was quite shocking, but it strangely aligned with the behavior of my two kids. My first machinima and my first success. With Missy Brunson, I came along from learning how to walk to becoming the tour guide in a trip around the world. Becoming confident in Second Life virtual environment helped me later on in game strategies and left me with confidence that I can enter any virtual world without a fear. It was always my desire to learn Flash. Because of DME, I was able to successfully learn basics. This was one of the classes that I wish could last 12 months. I learned many useful techniques that I am planning to develop and implement on my website. This software is one of many I plan to revisit and explore much deeper beyond the 4 weeks time frame I had. My first successful karaoke and detailed exposure to GarageBand. I have to admit that learning the software was really fun. I appreciate learning what it takes to produce 10 seconds of high-quality music where everything aligns the way I planned. Those with the longest multiple 10 seconds in my life. It was not until FPE when I learned that so far I had been producing videos in the dark. The theory learned behind the AAA movie review project was a huge eye-opener and resulted in a much higher quality footage ever since. It was also my second successful machinima. I learned the value in online gaming. This course taught me another perspective on the next generation. By becoming a gamer myself and not just criticizing it, it allowed me to understand what goes through the minds of digital natives who spend hours on the computer. It taught me how children, through playing computer games, learn collaboration and teamwork. I realized those are the playdates of today. In this module, I was able to put the definition into my AR project. I learned that I produced my action research based on the Learning Content Management System principles, but I had no idea there was a term for it. By learning the theory on LCMS, I was able to verbally classify my project. Finally, in media asset creation, I learned that the art of possibility means that the choice is really mine. I am there to decide if and how I can use what I learned at Full Sail and throughout my career as a designer. It is my choice if and how to shine the eyes of others. The literature chosen for this module was a true cliché to the program. Overall, Full Sail was a lot of successful my firsts for me. I learned new software, but I also learned the current ways of networking. Full Sail taught me how to be efficient with my time and how planning and upfront analysis are crucial to any project. I learned that it takes a team to teach and develop an individual, and technology makes it easier. Therefore, my final vows go to the faculty members of the program and to my classmates who helped me sail smoothly. There is a constant need for training in the department where I work. I began by asking, I wonder what would happen if our department had a trainer available all the time who could run the refresh course on how to auto-price pages for those who do not use auto-price feature every day. I knew it was an impossible dream. Then I started to develop the idea of having an electronic version of a trainer. I finalized my idea by proposing the possible project of creating a computer-based tutorial on how to auto-price pages in Quark. I wasn't sure if such computer-based tutorial would be able to substitute or eliminate face-to-face training, but I knew I had to try. I started by researching the literature to find out what is the value in computer-based learning. How do people respond to online training versus model classes setting? Are there any benefits to video training over text-led instruction? My literature findings showed great value in computer-based and online learning. It proved video to be very beneficial to learners. Based on that knowledge, I decided to pursue my project and started to design the tutorial. Learning from the principle of Eddie, I spent an entire month preparing and organizing my tutorial. I knew there wouldn't be time to redo anything in case things went wrong. I am glad I spent so much time on the prep work and had many revisions before final draft was completed because everything worked out great at the end. Meanwhile, during that month, I dealt with approvals from the department director, software compatibility, and copyright issues with my company. I also prepared the survey that would help me collect data later on. After I was sure what I was going to do and how am I going to follow my plan, I started recording the instructional part of the tutorial. After the raw recordings were completed, I organized them into one PowerPoint, which was then presented to my testers. After completing the tutorial, each of them received the survey via email, and responses were then analyzed via Google Spreadsheet. The data completed came as a big surprise to me. I thought the novice in AutoPrice would find this tutorial beneficial, but after receiving positive feedback from the expert users, I knew my project was a success. The data collected showed that one more chapter needed to be added to the tutorial. I added the most common errors and troubleshooting techniques to the tutorial in my cycle 2. The final data came even stronger. The tutorial was ready for publishing and available to all associates. At this point, I struggled one more time with software compatibility, but I am currently at the end of completing the process for making it available to the whole department to use. The data collected from the tutorial proved my literature findings that computer-based tutorials are a great means for training and bring high learning results. Gaining that knowledge, I would like to enter the world of instructional design, corporate training, or become a faculty member and contribute to the growth of technology learning modules. I discovered through my tutorial that learning became easier to any learner as they were not embarrassed to rerun lessons. They had access to information at their own leisure in their own private space. This made the difference to their knowledge and followed with higher productivity for our department. It also ended disruption to all who could previously hear the instructions. It benefited the whole department. Therefore, I would like to be part of the new learning approach for adults and make everyone comfortable with using technology during training. Thank you, Full Sail, for making me realize my new passion.